Okay, so I don't know if you know, but the Republicans have a problem with the gays, and I don't say that. That's gays with a Y, not a Z. And so Mike Huckabee, who is what do you call a pretend Christian? Anybody who wears their Christianity on their sleeves in politics is full of shit, and there's no doubt about it, okay? And Mike Huckabee is one of the worst. You know, if you say you're a preacher and you're in politics, especially right-wing politics, there's something wrong with you, right? Because Jesus was a hippie. Okay, so plus, so here he is. He's got problems. He wants to let everybody know. Well, first of all, he's talking about the gays, and here he is. He's going to try to, he gave this speech where he tried to pretend he didn't hate the gays, right? And first of all, he's going to let you know who the real victims are in America. Play the video one.
And alone in our culture, alienated in many cases, because we have a view of marriage that holds back to the traditions that go all the way back to the garden.
Yeah, see who's being alienated, Dave? Who's being alienated there, Dave, is the white, male, straight Christian. In America, he's being alienated in his own country.
I didn't know people with straight marriages and their garden. I assume he's talking about the Garden of Eden.
Yes.
He's talking about like a tomato garden or something like that.
I think it's Garden of Eden.
I didn't know they were being oppressed. I now feel very differently about everything that I've ever thought about anything. I'm going to have to rethink a lot of stuff. This is wild. You know, sidebar for Mike Huckabee. I once debated Mike Huckabee on Geraldo's radio show during the Chick-fil-A gay thing.
You did?
Kidding. Yeah, I did.
And
I'm pretty sure I beat him.
I'm pretty sure
he was so into the chicken, you know what I mean? That I think the issues were going over his head. But I did debate him. I'm not making that.
So he goes on. He's got more to say. Clip 2.
That is, by the way, I've heard people argue with me and said, well, Jesus never said anything about marriage. I said, yes, he actually did. A man shall leave his father and mother, and a woman shall leave her home, and the two shall become one flesh. That's a marriage ceremony if I've ever heard one.
Yeah, okay.
Who cares?
What
does that have to do with anything?
What's
I
that?
don't think that is Jesus. I think that's Paul.
I
I think that's from the epistles.
Yeah. Oh.
Watch your mouth.
There you go. Yeah, watch your mouth on this show. You're
Yeah.
you're gonna throw the word
Epistles.
epistle around like
Jesus.
that. I'm gonna get
Whoa.
fined. Anyway, yes, I agree with you, Robert. People who are biblical scholars who I trust, and I don't trust Mike Huckabee because he's a huckster. They've told me Jesus didn't speak, and you would know better than me, right? You're gay.
Yes, but I'm not. What does that have to do with anything? What does that, whether Jesus said that or not, Jesus has been dead for a couple thousand years. I'm not a biblical scholar. But also, what does that have to do with anything? He should know, if anyone, that we have separation of church and state in America. Did you know that, Jimmy?
Oh, I
had it in my notes
I
here
forgot.
somewhere.
Not according to Louis Gohmert.
What does that have to do with how we're governed?
Not according to Louis Gohmert.
Oh, that's right.
It's a
Yeah,
one-way
yeah.
street.
Well, he's from Texas. So
Yeah.
it's
Yes.
different there.
He's also a child in a man's body.
Well, go. He's got a little bit more to say. Can you play the next clip?
Oh, no.
Look, I'm not against anybody. I'm really not. I'm not a hater. I'm not homophobic. I honestly don't care what people do personally in their individual lives, but I tell you,
I just want to deny them equal rights. Okay, I'm not against them. I don't care what they do, but they just can't live like I do.
Yeah, exactly.
They're not okay with it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you just said it. You
Yeah.
can't do that. You can't have everything. You can't have your cake and eat it too. Although he has been eating a lot of cake. Have you noticed he's put on? A little bit of that
we
weight?
have noticed that Mike Huckabee's back up to his what do you call not fighting weight? He's back.
It's called the rolling weight.
Yes, his rolling weight. Okay, yes. So that's my favorite thing. I'm not against anybody, except I just don't want them to have the same rights as everybody else.
Joking aside, do you think he thinks he can roll back the progress that gay rights have made? That's what I think is interesting. Like, you know you're losing, so why do you keep doubling down?
They just they
They
don't.
just can't stop. It's an addiction.
Yeah, I think it is an addiction. They got nowhere else to go. You know,
Yeah.
they're like Mayo in Officer and a Gentleman. You know, he's like, I got nowhere else to go except hating the gays.
That's
What
all
else am
they
I gonna
have.
do? Benghazi, Obamacare, gays. It's the triumvirate, right? It's the trinity of Republican politics right now. He's
But
got a little. Go ahead. Right.
To be fair, Mayo said that when he was doing exercise. And,
Ah, yes, he did. What was his name? The actor.
Richard Gere.
Richard Gere, Mayo. I call him Mayo.
Yeah.
I don't
Reminds
know.
me of a party I was at with Richard Gere. It was
Mayo?
It was, well, that's not important right now. Yada yada yada. A lot of dead Germans.
None of
Okay,
my,
where
yeah,
are we?
none of my. None of my business. He's got one more thing to say, but he really wraps it up nice here with Mike Huckabee.
The reason when people say, well, why don't you just kind of get on the right side of history? I said, you got to understand, this for me is not about the right side or the wrong side of history.
No, it's not about the right side or the wrong side of history. What is it about? Let's see what it's about, Gilbert. Can you play the last clip?
This is the right side of the Bible, and unless God rewrites it, edits it, sends it down with his signature on it, it's not my book to change. Folks, that's
See? Dave, I think you said this yesterday. If you don't mind me stealing it from you.
Steal a joke from me in front of me, please. That's the best way to do it.
He doesn't hate the gays. The Bible hates the gays.
The Bible
I love the gays. I don't care what they do, but the Bible tells me to hate them.
Please, I just sucked off a guy in a bathroom. I mean, I don't hate the gays. It's so fucking ridiculous. Can I curse? Can I curse? Well, we bleep that, right?
You can do whatever you want.
Oh, yeah, I said fucking.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so ridiculous.
And I don't understand. So it's to the point now, I wonder where he was giving that speech, because why does he feel the need to make nice with the gay? Why does he feel me like, hey, I don't hate, I'm the nicest guy in the world,
because
right?
he's trying to get cool cred while he's still being a dick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He wants to be, I'm not against the gays, but I just think.
Jesus has a problem with the gays.
It's that guy, and it's this book. But doesn't he realize, as a governor and a guy who ran for president, that those are not the things that we are governed by? That's not
the Bible, you mean?
Yeah, we're not governed by a 2,000-year-old man who's dead, and we're not governed by the Bible. I can't change the Bible. Well, good. We're not governed by the Bible, so that's okay. I mean, come on.
Very nice.
But I do think that in the Bible it did say, don't suck off another man. Corinthians 1:2-3.
What is it? Which was it? Yeah.
That was Corinthians.
Yeah.
That's Leviticus, actually.
I think it was Cock-Corinthians. I see. I'm doing puns. I'm doing puns over here.
Actually, in the Bible, it said, "Thou shalt not lay with another man like thou does with a woman."
Right.
I don't lay with women like that, so it's okay.
Right.
See my point?
Yes.
You know what I mean? I'm not doing that shit with women. So if anything, I'm the biblical one here.
I always said you
God
were.
bless America.
I always said, right up your biblical. All right, that's Mike Huckabee. By the way, I just want to say one more time, whenever you see, give me my camera, whenever you see a politician wearing his religion on his sleeve, he's full of shit.
Jimmy Dore.
Young Turks.